issues, guys.
So I have a mess again on my desk, but that's how it goes. I'm gonna do a cover. I'm gonna do the inside of this one, but as I did my short, I have this one to do. I have this one to do. These are all just on recycled cardboard, and it is my new calendar from Dollarama that has these beautiful pictures. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and fill them, sort of like I did with these. These are filled. These ones were painted, and these ones have all their papers in it. So we need to do that for all of these latest ones that I just covered. Look, I'm getting disaster zones. So these are what they need to look like. See how I have a tear there? When I come back to decorate it, that will get dealt with. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with these. And when I have a bunch of these, so I added this inside, so they're all ready to go. These are from the Dollarama calendar, and I don't think they really have much of a name on them. It just says Dollarama Studio Planner. So Studio must be the brand, and it's just a 12-month calendar. And I got 2 of them. So this one is, and then my daughter also gave me a bunch of pamphlets and maps and touristy things. So I used that as well. So these are just made with recycled cardboard. Here's another one. I made a video about this. I was going to put a wider one in here, but I just thought, why don't I just put a narrow one so that you could see more of it. This was going to be the cover, but I really wrinkled it up. And once again, I have so much music notes still that I'm using that. Although the music notes aren't in the shape to come out as a signature. So again, I just used the maps and the calendar to fix these covers. I did a couple of small ones too. So this was Tokyo. So I got to use 2 of them, and then that's part of a pamphlet for travelers. My daughter went on a few trips last year, so they hung on to those and gave them to me. So I appreciated that, so I thought, okay, I may as well just fix something then. Oops, I still have a... So these cardboards are put together, and then, so you see the seam? I have a video on fixing these spines. That is just attached using Aleene's tacky glue. So you can see it's just cardboard. That's my whole spiel, guys, my cardboard. Love, love, love saving it. So this is the size that we're looking at, okay? So I folded up a bunch of papers. I'm going to put all of these different papers in, and that's exactly why I like this large, these large pages. They just barely fit. So I got to be super good at tying them in. So I would recommend getting these pages, getting these books where you can take the signatures out. If you see that, you can remove the signatures carefully. Sometimes you lose one, but then I just use them in other ways in the journal. So you just got to make sure you've got the page that you need. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a glue, but there's also stitching. So without cutting that center of the paper, We've got to separate them. And we have ready-made signatures. Need to be able to pull and cut at the same time. I might have lost the first one because I feel like I'm cutting paper here. But that's okay. I stick the lined paper onto my other pages anyways. Ah, still one. Open it up, and you can also cut it out taking these out too. I just find it very fiddly. I'm going to take that threads out. Oh, I might have got that, did I? I think so. So like I said, these come out. If you're gentle with it, you have a signature page. Come on. This is the best kind of books to buy. And sometimes you lose one. So you don't necessarily start because they're also glued. Sometimes they're not a signature. This is not a signature, but it's glued pretty good, so I think we're going to get away with it. All right. So let's get this show on the road. I didn't make the spine that thick. You can make the whole thing just with these. You can actually make the whole thing just with these. And that'll be an awesome writing journal. But we're going to mix it up because we want people to be able to do their thing in this journal. So, for instance, let's just take one that's folded nicely. Because of the size of that spine, I think I only want to do one signature. I don't like puncturing my spines a whole bunch. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I don't like... Sometimes they join together when I do that, so... And then we have some watercolor paper, and you can see if I want them larger, I just fold a small amount. Because I can, as long as I can tie it in, I'm happy. Let's do another line paper. Make sure the ups are up because the line paper has an up, doesn't it? And then I have some smaller ones. Should be tickety-boo. Got some music notes. Let's trim that down. We do have an up on the music note. Just this to be the right size. Always wind up with more pages than I need, but that's why I like to do more than one page at a time. One book at a time. So some of these I gave them a center. So this one has an up as well. And we just want to get that centered so we can catch it when we're tying it. And believe it or not, it's okay if you only catch it in 2 places, that's totally fine. So I have these sketchbook pages as well. Same idea, the other one. The pages come out as signatures from the book when you buy it. Let's add some sketchbook paper to that. Sometimes I like these to be the center. We'll see about that. Again, this is a different one again. Different sketchbook papers. I made these with attaching a picture. I think we're going to be running out of space here. I think I wanted this to go in there as well. Let's put another one in there so it's alternate that a bit. And got this one, which might be a little bit long. Yeah, maybe a little bit long. And then let's just do one of these for the center, because that way they can go all the way across. So let's take a look at what we've got there. And hopefully we've got all the ups up. And there's one more thing I forgot. We need to add some of the paper stocks. This actually isn't a bad color. And I think we have a dark blue here. That'll be good. Let's just fold this in half. And then I think we have plenty of pages for this one journal. They're square, so it doesn't matter which way you fold it. Let's get this nice and flat. So once again, we need to trim it down. Let's just grab one of our pages. Uh-oh. Touch one thing on the chair behind me. I've been working on these for a while, so I haven't really stopped to get everything back organized again. Okay, so that one fits, and then I think there was another one that was wrong. Remember, I still have my part that I keep for all of my cutaways so that I can turn them into journal covers. I just want to check and see if that one needs to come down. Yeah, so some of the music notes in this one are too long. Because I don't measure, guys, that's why. I'm doing a video right now, sweetie. We're just going to take that down. And it should fit in here. So the only other thing I see is that some of these are uneven on this side. So let's straighten that out. You can see I've got tons of paper here for all of the other journals, and they'll have to be cut back various amounts. So I'm just gonna cut this edge here. I don't see other people doing this cut edge. And I wonder if it's because they measure or what is going on. But I find I have to do that because if you look here, as we're putting papers, it's moving up. And so the only other thing I was thinking of, oh, I didn't put these in yet. So these need to go in. Sometimes I like to put them right at the front. I think the dark one at the front would be good. And then let's go down into the center. Let's see what our pages look like. Make sure the ups are up. And the reason I do it this way is I can come back to this page once it's tied in and glue on another page over here. That works for me. Okay, so we just want to get these centered a little bit. Up, that's up. Let's get this one centered. Okay. So this one is just joined using some of the same calendar, but the cutaways that I had. I just like the words on that music. So actually what I've got is I've got too many narrow ones or shorter ones all in the same spot. So this I think is a good place to put this one. Alternate those smaller ones. So this one needs to have an alternate as well. Some of these art papers are different colors. Just as long as it's centered, I'm fine with it. And once again, this is quite a color change. So we'll have to work on that when I design, when I start decorating it. Okay, so this felt like the center, but it wasn't. You know what I'm noticing is I don't have that many of these. So let's add another one of these. And since she got me a pamphlet, I kind of like this one, so I thought I would just add it in there. I just added some writing notes to it. So it looks like everything is up. Alright, so let's just take a look. I'm going to put a clip on here. Like my buddy in Veronica. Do you recognize that as the glue thing? Yep. I'm a recycler. Come on. Okay. So let's get these together. Stick them all together. Get them all together. So this one that I added is too long. It is too long. We don't have hardly any room on the top side there. And then this one that I added is also too long. Okay, I just want to make sure my small ones, yeah, they're still centered. So the only other thing I'm going to check with the small one, I'm going to check how far in I need to go. 2.5. Two and 3/4. So we're going to get this in here. make sure our ups are still up. Everything's up. I'm going to come around here and we're going to center this. So we're centering this. You can see some of my pages are a little bit crooked. Can you see that? Some of these are a little bit crooked. Probably when I folded it. Almost have no room for error on this. Okay, and then this one, see this one that I added. Just take charge of that page and get it to fit in there better. I'll use a smaller one. There you go. There we go. So everything is looking better. You can see my scissors take a beating, so sometimes they need to be replaced. Designated only for cardboard. This is this part right here. Right here, it's rough. Come on, baby. There we go. All right. Now I'm happy with that. And we're going to lay it down. We still have our up here. Got one more that's off right here. If you don't want to have to worry about this, bring your borders really close or really far from the edge of your cover. Mine just happened to be very close on this one. And I like making big journals, so. Okay, so now they're lined up better on this side and better on this side. Can you see that? Better on this side, better on this side. Okay, so we're gonna center that. And like I said, I need to come in 2 3/4 to catch those small ones. So that's going to be right here. 1, 2 3/4. That's right here. We got to make sure we get it in the actual part there. So that is right here. Right here. So I'm measuring this. I'm not measuring that. Okay. So let's get this in here. So that's basically 5 1/2. So you're going 2 3/4 for the center one. Now this is where sometimes I lose it. So I'm gonna clip. I'm gonna put lots of clips in here because this is where I lose it. I'm gonna pick it up. It's exactly the way I want. Open it to the center. Which is right over here. This is the center. So this is exactly the way I want it. I'm going to clip it so it does not move around. When it's this thick and stuff, it can kind of slide around a little bit. And then what will happen is your holes aren't in the right spot on the paper. Try to avoid that from happening this time. It happens to me a lot. Okay, so we've got that creases in there. Now we're going to turn around. Careful with your finger behind there. And puncture the holes. I think you've seen this. If you've seen it once, I think you've seen it 1,000 times with journal makers. So it's not as thick as actually my spine, but I haven't added any pockets or anything yet. So with this one, you just need to make sure we're folding it, seeing exactly the center. See what I mean? If I tried to do more than one in this cardboard, I think it would get wrapped. So this one's kind of, my line is a little bit off. I need to get it in the middle there. Okay. So we have our up. You know what? I have this ribbon I need to get rid of. Let's use that. It's just sitting here. I'm giving away my ribbons, so this just wound up being sitting here. I'm just going to make my life more difficult pulling this ribbon through all that paper, but let's do it anyways. So what we're going to do is keep those clips in. See, as long as they're coming through the center. See how it migrated on this one? That's not what I want. I want it in the center. I think those ones are okay. So I like to tie it on the inside. There we go. Make sure your up is up. I can see that from the lined paper. It has a margin at the top. Okay. Through the center, up one of the sides. Over to the other side. There we go. Out the hole. Wait, don't come out. Let's bring it along. We don't need that much. Don't need that much ribbon there. The rest of the ribbon could probably be good for a tag or something. Okay, let's go back into the center. Honey, that is the easiest tying I've done. What's going on here? That'd be great if that happens for every one of them. Got a lot of scent papers to add here. Okay, so the next section is we're going to lie it down here. I don't see people doing this either, but you need to get this centered. You need this centered, and you need this centered, okay, before you tie it. And I'm just going to pull it, I'm going to lift it up and make sure this is very tight. That's nice and tight now. You can put one through the other side if you want. Just to double tie it in there. And I don't usually use ribbon, I usually use hemp cord. So don't be surprised if the ribbon slides between knots. I'm trying to keep it tight. I think I'll just do 3 knots instead of my usual 2. Okay. There, I used up some of my ribbon. So now let's bring this back. Your journal is ready to rock and roll. And so now all of these different pages can be decorated. And for these short ones that I've made, I'm just going to use glue, and I'm just going to add something to that. I might have some nice decorator paper that I could add, or I could just add this. This can be just an awesome thing to grab onto, just so that I have a page there. But I didn't want this to be folded any other way, or else the actual page would be too narrow. It would be like this. But by giving it that other fold, I have almost a full page for decorating and stuff. Okay? Hope you like it. I love these covers.